Hello again. This is going to be a short one today, I think. My voice is not what it is normally. I've been sick for a while. But I want to talk about the Pope, creativity, and artificial intelligence. I'm not a religious person, never have been, but I'm sure you heard about the Pope's recent encyclical, which is a kind of address popes give in Latin. This one focused on AI. Part of it really stood out to me as a creative person, and I thought I'd share it with you and talk about why. So at one point he says, dialogue is an ordinary part of human life. It involves acquiring an attitude that seeks to forge bonds of fraternity, built on listening, an open demeanor, making time for each other, and even wasting time together. For if we experience authentic encounters with others, with those who are different, strangers and migrants, it becomes much more difficult even to imagine war. And now in the original Latin. No, I'm kidding. But this statement says so much. I want to focus on why this matters for creative folks like us. Authentic encounters with others. This is our whole jam. As creative people, we facilitate authentic encounters. We make things that bring people together to have collective experiences. Of course, this isn't what the Pope was talking about, but creativity is a kind of dialogue with the world. In all its forms, it relies on the beholder, the audience, the end user, to have a response, whether that's emotional or intellectual or something that stays buried in the subconscious that we never even realize. And then there's the collaboration part of it. When I read that paragraph the first time, the first thing I thought about was all the collaborators I've had over the years. Both as a musician and as a designer, I've worked with people from all sorts of backgrounds and learned from them along the way. Whether it was a Cuban-American designer from Miami or a Polish-German saxophonist from Cologne, the biggest lesson I got was how alike we all are. But the main point of his encyclical was to address the issue of artificial intelligence and our relationship to it. And as you all know, creative people have a lot on the line when it comes to AI. I'm going to sidestep the whole issue of the fact that the technology is being trained on our work without our permission, and instead focus on the fear many of us have that AI is going to replace us. It's not. Pope Leo addressed that fear, saying that AI systems merely imitate certain functions of human intelligence. So the authentic encounters that we experience are beyond its scope. And therefore, so is creativity. He makes the point that for an algorithm, an error is a flaw to be corrected. But for a person, an error can be a catalyst for profound change. A person's future isn't calculable because it depends on freedom and relationship, not optimization. Still, he isn't anti-AI. He sees the potential for the technology to benefit humanity, but as an addition, not as a replacement. And I guess that's kind of where I come down on it too. There are all kinds of dangers around it, and we definitely need more regulation or some regulation around both its development and implementation. But it can be an incredible tool for humanity, including creatives, not to do our creative work for us, but to help us in other areas, to help with some of the crap that would normally keep us from doing our creative work. Like the other day, we're having a dispute with our vinyl manufacturer in Poland, doing vinyl LPs. This is totally random, but I needed to go through all the correspondence with them, and it's a lot. It's like over 150 emails, and not all of them are important, but I needed it in an easy-to-read document with the important parts highlighted. So I asked Claude to do it. I mean, I had to give it really specific instructions, but it would have taken me hours to go through all that, and I had to double check it. There were some mistakes. Still, huge time saver. And so I think as we're getting used to having AI around, we will find more and more uses for it that have nothing to do with our creativity. I think there will be this period of disruption and a shift in certain creative industries, which we're probably already in. When non-creative people think they can just write a prompt and design comes out, or photography or music. People who can't discern authenticity from mimicry or quality from garbage, those people will happily take whatever the chatbots give them, thinking they got a bargain, not realizing they are paying dearly in ways they just can't understand. Creativity is a human act. It is a kind of authentic encounter that connects us to each other. We draw on memories of our encounters from our past and take inspiration from interactions with each other that happen every day. We need those encounters. We should treasure them. They're irreplaceable, just like us. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, keep the flow. And here's a clap. Kind of a wimpy clap. But what are you going to do, right? Been sick. Cut yourself some slack, Macklemore.